My. Ooh, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Welcome into the live, everybody. And welcome to all of my replay gang. I appreciate y'all for all watching. I truly do. Happy Sunday, TaylorMade 6051 here, studio. Welcome on to the live. Yes, girl. I had to come live. I am like sick of it. Girl, I'm sick of it. Welcome, Susan. Thank you so much for stopping by the live. Hey, cool gamer. Hey, y'all. Welcome on in. Listen, baby. I wanted to say, triggered. That is the title of this live tonight. Okay. Hey, Shay Love. Welcome into the building, love. Happy Sunday to you. Welcome. It's like, oh my goodness. Yes. TaylorMade, Taylor. Hey, official 1SB. Welcome into the live. Just welcoming everybody into the live. Enjoying you guys the most. Just seeing the triggers and the triggers how do you handle things that triggers you? What are the things that triggers you the most in life? And the best part of this is how do you handle it? And what do you do to get by? And some people confuse your response with, maybe you're supporting, maybe you are avoiding the topic, maybe you are just with it or not with it, whatever it is, or being shady or whatever the cause is. Listen, we all have triggers, right? We have different triggers, okay? And so what I wanted to say is that there are many triggers and wanted to discuss what are your triggers? What is most of your triggers? And I pulled up here, there are so many different types of triggers, right? You have triggers of people with anniversaries, memories, relationships, of something that happened in their past, healthcare, experience of going in, a store or something that happened deeply in your childhood that really, really bothered you. There are many triggers that happen in our lives that we get triggered. But what happens to you is how you respond best to those triggers, right? Because that's what I see of it all. And I know some of them are cut off. And the ones that are cut off on this list is where it says sounds or smells that trigger the memory. And then it has underneath where it says on the right side, where it says feeling judged or ridiculed. And underneath that is financial issues, right? So we're looking at a bunch of triggers that may happen in our life, right? Yeah, that. And so we all have them. And so the best way to manage some of these things is sometimes we act it out, right? Or we avoid them and we go into dark spaces, or we indulge into food, we indulge into different things in our lives that we do, right? For me, hey, Savior yourself, thank you. Welcome to the live. Thank you for coming through. Exactly. Okay, TaylorMade. That is one of my number ones that I go to. I will immediately shut down. I click off, I turn the TV off, I close the book, I leave the atmosphere, I no longer speak, I shut down the relationship. I will shut it down. I will block you. I will rebuke Satan. I will pray on it. I'll do all those type of things that comes to mind. But my number one thing is I will not seek those things any longer, right? And so what I do with my triggers is that I don't watch things that triggers me. So I have not seen, hey Lisa, welcome to the live. Thank you for coming by. Hey, that's okay. Chef Fun is Wine. Welcome to the live. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. And so that's one of my things to do frequently. I will shut down and I just click off and I don't watch. And one of these things that I brought up and why I brought up these types of triggers and things that trigger us is that I am not going to spoon fed the atmosphere of how I want to feel. So if something is triggering me, I dang gone sure it's not going to produce something that is going to make you continue doing these things that that triggers me. And if you continue doing things that triggers me, I am no longer going to watch because I do understand that there are episodes, there are seasons, there are reasons for everyone doing certain things, right? And main thing is when we're watching these social medias, most of the things that people do, they may not be trying to trigger people, but they are trying to bring in the views, right? So they're trying to bring in the views, and I get it. I get it. I get it. They're trying to bring in the views. It's all good and all of that stuff. So those are kind of segments of that don't last long. It's something that's going to get a viewer to come in to watch. They're going to come in. I'm not looking at the chat right now, but I'm going to look down soon. So bear with me. Let me get this thought out before I forget, because I will forget. So they come on as content creators. Our things is we're thinking about the views. We're thinking about what happens and what is bringing people in, right? So when you continue on with it, and if you are a person who are triggered to the content that you are watching, your thing is either you're going to like it and you're going to continue watching, or you are going to click off because it triggered you and I'm no longer interested, or you are going to be someone who is deemed on making, content that is falsely representing the content that you're watching, right? And you're going to continue, or you're going to be triggered and you may harm yourself, or you may think this is something that you want to get into, right? So this is my avoidance. If it triggers me, I am definitely just logging off and just come back and see another chapter or another segment of your show. If your show continues on to things that triggers me, then I may not be back and I may dismiss myself, because sometimes we speak, right? And we have our own voices, and everybody have a right to say something about what you're feeling, but I'm going to support who I want to support. People are going to go through trials and tribulations, and that's a part of the naturality of things. Hey, Lucinda, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much. I thank you for stopping by, and I appreciate you spending your time with me and just coming through and saying hello. So enjoy your errands and happy shopping to you, hon. I don't watch nobody who speak ill on my name. Oh, well, Lisa, we are not going to speak. I'm not staying nowhere where they're talking ignorant about me or ignorant about my family or anything of that sort. I'm not going to do that either. Chef Honest One, yeah, we miss you as well. I miss your lives. When you coming live, Chef Honest Wine? Lucinda said, I just unsub and never visit the channel anymore. Anything that disrupt my peace. I cut it out of my life and leave mess in 2022. So, Lucinda, when I speak on these things that triggers you, right? This person may have a wonderful segment, but when you have people who have segments and that's good and interesting to you, and then all of a sudden they want to blog just a little segment, right? I'm not so harsh on judgment so much, right? Because I enjoy watching them. That's like a relationship. I enjoy watching them once, but then they came on and they brought this other segment just to give it a test waters, right? Now it depends on if it is sit well in my soul. Now, if it doesn't sit well in my soul and you show who you truly are, meaning vicious, fake, and all of that, yeah, I'm gonna unsubscribe and I'm gonna just leave you alone. But if it's something about your personal life that you want to share with me and it becomes disruptive, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat what I'm talking about. I am speaking on because I do enjoy Tracy with the T. I do enjoy her content. I do leave out when she does certain things. Yeah, but most things I do enjoy. I enjoy a lot of different content creators who create different things that may not be pleasing to others. And everyone do some foul things, but when you are specifically getting into Zoom things where may trigger me, what triggers me is I have violence in my life. Like my sister was killed. Like her husband killed her and killed himself, which left us, me and my mom, raising the children, and they were young. So that's a trigger for me. So if I see anything that seems valid, violent, or people trying to harm themselves, that's a trigger for me to exit. Okay. So I don't watch most of that. So I missed a lot of stuff that may go on. And no, I'm not parading around saying, yeah, go out and do this. But I do want people to be happy and doing things. But when I say what triggers, that means you don't watch. That means I'm not going to be parading stuff around and continue talking about something, because if something triggers you, that means you're not going to watch. I missed a lot of what's going on into the Tracy Ordell, and I just hope that she and pray that she gets home safely. Things go at that matter. I tune in as much as I can to where it's crazy, but when it go crazy and mayhem and things that comes on the line or her fella, I tune out. That's what I mean of how you respond to things that triggers you. Like, do you continue on a panel that if you considerably care for somebody, and I get it, content is content. I get that we look at stuff and all that, but I don't parade stuff that is dangerous and stuff like that. So I lost someone to violence. So I am not going to be hanging around watching certain things in certain places and all of that stuff. I don't. So I kind of miss most of it. But after I was reviewing a couple of replays of certain people, I tuned out and I no longer watched anything else that represented anything that was going on. I don't know that lady. I know I expressed the safety. I know I said no, don't go. I know I said all those things, but people are going to do what they want to do regardless. And just because you show support to someone doesn't mean that you are in agreement with someone doing whatever they're doing. You're showing support. So half of the stuff that been going on, I did not watch because I can't. I go in, I come back in, I go out, I leave, and it is what it is. But I don't support any kind of violence. I don't support anyone who, those are just not my type of things. So the thing is, the good thing for triggers is don't watch. But if somebody see you watching, Lucinda said, if you are still on when I'm finished, I'll be back. Thank you, Lucinda. I appreciate you. I truly do. She said, yeah, if it's an array of good content, a few videos that don't agree with my spirit, then I will not watch the content that is bothering my spirit. Exactly. That's what I meant, Lucinda. That's what I do. And a lot of people just don't accept that. People just go into like, oh, don't support them. Don't watch. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like, what are you talking about? Because I don't understand. So you know what I'm saying? All right. Hey, TaylorMade, is that you, hon?
Yes, me.
Okay, girl. Hey,
Hey,
girl. Hey.
I think this is a great topic.
This is because when you
Yeah.
become triggered, I was trying to get through these comments, but when you become triggered onto certain things that disturb your soul and that really means something to you that is really triggering, I'm not going to continue watching it.
Mm-mm. You're
I
right.
don't know what went on further than me watching, and then after all of the, yeah, I get it, everybody love and smooches and all that type of stuff, I get it, but once that started going on, I just clicked off because I don't enjoy the other party, but I do enjoy Tracy. Okay,
Right.
so
Yeah.
when he came on, I'm already got my finger on the trigger to click off anyway, and so once he start his battlefield, I just go.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know really what happened, but as I go into other people's, commentary, their chats, and hear little stuff, I leave because it's triggering for me.
Yes. And I agree. Like
And
initially seeing them by themselves, that could be your own trigger. But then it's more when you see people doing 6 hour lives about the play by play of their life. Like it's 10 of them on the panel discussing these two people. It's kind of overkill. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. We're not there. We don't know what they're doing when the cameras is off. We don't know, the ins and the outs. And I think it's just putting too much time into somebody else's business instead of just sitting back. Maybe the time that they're together is gonna go great, but it's so many judgmental people involved. It's that's triggering me. Okay,
that's
like
what I'm thinking. That's the
it's
triggering
like
part for
trigger
me.
on top of trigger on top of triggers and triggers and triggers where I just can't even watch no more.
That's the triggering part for me.
Yeah,
That you can spend time watching that play by play, as I heard people said they were doing. Like people said
yeah,
they were on all night. I don't know because I logged. First of all, I was out yesterday when all this stuff. I was out with my girls. I had a great time. I stopped in a little bit. I watched some. I fell asleep, so I don't know who was on. But when I came on this morning, I try to visit as many lives that I can, but I love YouTube cameras and all of them because they give you little clips. Child, once I went to, I don't know who clip it was, if it was Henny Wives or whoever. I went to somebody clip, girl. Well, that triggered me, and I didn't watch any more of that.
and even those little clips, they're little clips, so sometimes you can't get the whole context of what they're really saying. You know
And
what I'm
I
saying?
don't want it. I don't want the whole
Right,
content
right. But I'm saying,
because it already triggered me enough to where I stopped watching the content. So why do I want to listen to somebody else review that? Because that was what triggered me, right? So
Yes.
I was hoping when I came on and when I see you by yourself, I did go ahead and listen into the chat and stuff like that. And then once it got back, I just leave out. I leave it on. I'm still supporting a little bit, but when you
Hmm.
go blind or you going to get a little mad, you can't be mad at people who are triggered. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And
People
then
are
more and more
triggered
people are
and
making their
people
videos.
are, huh?
I said, and then more and more people are making videos on it, and it's just crazy.
I mean, but
I
they're gonna
think we're
do what
too
they're gonna do.
invested. I think we're
They're
too invested in other people's business for me, because it's like, do you have a relationship? Have you ever? Has a man ever? I think, you know, if your man is really into you, yeah, he's gonna be touchy feely and all that stuff. I mean, that's like the honeymoon phase of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't touch her, they'll be saying, "Oh, he don't like her," and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't win either way. If it was me, I would just do my thing, get on, get off. They're saying that they're not doing anything. How do you know if they went somewhere or not? We're not there. They're
and
saying,
we're
"Oh
not
yeah,
there. I
there's
do say,
bruises on her. She's being abused, and he's pinching her."
oh my
I mean,
God,
it's
are they
just
saying
so.
that?
Girl, yes, they are just putting 10 on 20 on 10, and they're just doing the most. And it's like,
Oh,
dang,
I
where's
didn't
your
know
man
that.
at? Take a break and go be with your man today or something. I don't know. But it's super annoying.
I didn't know they were saying that stuff. Because I tuned out. Like I don't even watch his channel, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't watch his channel at all either.
But I watched Tracy, but like I said, I had logged off. Like once he come on, I just think he is too openly and all of that other stuff. Like we come to Tracy channel, and of course it's different because we're not used to seeing her in that light. So I'm not all for the whole. I'm for, get your groove on, do your thing. I don't have to watch, so I just click off because I'm not into. If I want to see a relationship channel, then I'll go to a.
Yeah. Then they're saying, "Oh, she's there
I'm
for 7
sorry,
days.
hold
That's
on.
too long."
Yeah,
And it's like, who are y'all to tell somebody how long is too long to go see their boyfriend? If she want to be there 7 days, then let her be there 7 days. That's their business. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh
yeah, I
well,
heard her
I
say
would
that
only,
today.
if it were me, I would only go for 2 days. And
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. No, continue talking. Hold on.
okay, so you guys in the chat, y'all understand what I'm saying, right? What one person will do, the next person won't do, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So if the lady wants to go on a trip for 7 days with her boyfriend and spend time with them, and they live apart, cities apart, what's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? These are super grown people. I'm talking about 40 plus and up. If she wants to get her groove back, let the girl get her groove back. Dang. They're like condemning it and before it even gets started. You know what I'm saying? And that might be another reason why they're going live so much, is because they're trying to prove to the YouTube that, it really is something between them. I don't know, but um I just, wish people would mind their business. Hold on. Get a hug. Okay.
All right, sorry, Taylor. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's a lot going on. And like I said, I'm not going to spend a live on this. I just want Tracy to be safe. And I am triggered. I'm not lying. I am triggered by some stuff. I'm not going to sit here and lie like I'm not triggered. I am triggered. Um, and I just don't watch. And I just think, People who are really, really triggered don't watch, and those who are for people, you know, just do your thing. I was for it. It looks cool and comfortable, but as time going on, and then I'm hearing, see, I didn't see things for fact for myself to say, like I heard people saying he was doing all this other stuff and saying this stuff about her. See, I don't watch his channel, so I don't know what really happened. And I haven't really tuned into the clips that been going on with of the channels who do the short clips. So, I just want her to be safe. I want her to go back to the San Antonio safe. And I'm not grinding. If she's having fun, let her enjoy her life. Some people do things online for, the response that they want to get, and they do it for likes and views.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't see a whole lot of stuff, so I can't really speak on
Yeah.
that. And if she's feel comfortable with it, if she feels safe with it, that is her business. I am not going to, but I won't condone any kind of violence.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I don't watch him. And I do know Tracy say some crazy stuff. I know she
Mhm.
drag kids, she do all of this stuff, but to be so, with the uns and all of this stuff and the stuff he be talking about, that's really over the line. And I don't want to be promoting people to accept domestic violence either.
Yeah.
Because whether you putting it on for the camera or not, and that's not who you really are, us as YouTube influencers, that is pretty much what that's given, right?
Mhm. I
I'm
get
just
triggered
saying,
by I get triggered by
like
a lot of things that they do on here, especially when they overkill a certain issue. And they do it sometimes. And I understand that it's content. She's definitely giving content over this weekend, but I understand that it's content, and so in the beast sector, they use each other for content. But it can
yes.
be a lot sometimes when a story something happens and then they keep harping on the same content. You know what I'm saying? Day after day after day after day. Yeah, it can get
Well, you
triggering.
know what I gotta say, Taylor, though? Can you blame them? Because they giving them content day after day after day too.
Yeah, but they're treating them like they're celebrities or something. I don't know. I
It
can't. I
doesn't matter because you know what? In the beef sector of what I seen, they all talk about each other. So if you are bringing content on the street day after day after day, that's what the channels are going to spend day after day, right? Because that's what they do, especially those you have been beefing with.
yeah,
So
but
if
the
you continuous coming on with content every day, and this mofo is out here putting out all this crazy content and talking to you crazy, as they say he's been doing and all this stuff, yeah, you put it out there, they're gonna talk about it.
again, it's to each person's interpretation. Because one could perceive it not as being something as not being what they're saying that it is. You see what I'm saying? Like some person can say, "Oh, yeah, that person did this, this, and the other," and then the next person could be like, "No." So everybody
Right.
can
I'm not with the lies though. I'm not with the
everybody
lies
sees
and the
things in different ways.
exaggeration of it.
Because
Yeah.
according to her, she's fine in this situation. According to her, she's fine. But if you let everybody else tell it, she's not. So that's the
Right.
thing. That's kind of it. That's what's
But that's
irritating.
what people take from it. I haven't watched all of it. So I don't know what they're getting out of what the danger is. Because I'm hearing about the uns. I didn't see that. I'm hearing about the biting of wigs and all that. I didn't see that. I'm hearing different stuff, and I just been triggered just by popping in and listening into people's lives, and then I click out. So I haven't seen that stuff. So
Yeah. So
I'm like, okay, so
if you're
that's
listening to
when it get
if you're listening
crazy
to it,
where
if you're listening to her op narrate the story, then you're gonna have an opposing. You're hearing an opposing thought. I mean, because I did see when he was nibbling on her wig. You know what I'm saying? It was like a
oh, you did see it. See, I didn't see it.
uh-huh, and he was
Oh,
like
you
playing with
did.
her.
Okay.
Like it was like in a cutesy kind of way. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Okay. See, that's what I'm
but the
talking about.
but the
See
ops are
how
saying,
people
"Oh yeah,
spin
he
it.
was
I
biting
don't
her
mean
wig
that.
off," and you know what I'm saying? That's how they're doing it.
No, but I'm talking about not even the ops. I'm talking about the people, the one I forgot what you call the channels, like YouTube cameras and Henny Wives and stuff like that. When they have the little
Those are
clips
her
up.
ops.
That's what I
She
was
don't.
saying. So I didn't know.
She said she was gonna flag Pennywise.
What?
Yeah, she
Oh.
not. That's her op too, I guess.
Oh, because I thought she support Tracy. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Um, oh my lord.
She don't
See?
want
See
nobody.
how
She
much
don't
I
want
know,
nobody showing.
girl.
She don't want
Huh?
nobody showing. She don't want nobody clipping her content.
Well, I understand that because she trying to make her bag off of her own content. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
their own stuff. You know what? It's a lot going on. All I know is I just want her to be safe and remain safe. I don't know what he's doing over there. I don't care what he's doing. I'm really not a fan. Okay, I'm really not. And like I said, when it comes to domestic violence, I'm definitely not on board. I've been
And
through a
me either.
lot, and I've seen a lot, and I know what it looks like, and he is not, and I'm not going to sit here like I'm rooting her on, but she's grown.
Yeah.
I told her from the beginning, no, ew, no, but she's still going to do what she do, right? Because she's grown as fuck. And you know how you say to somebody, don't do something, the more they're going to do it, like our children.
Yep.
You know how
And
you tell your children don't do this because it's bad, and the more you keep saying don't do it, they're gonna get more and more curious and keep doing it because you said
exactly.
not to. And so like I don't know her personally, so I don't know her personally, but I do care for her. I don't know you personally, but I care for you. I don't want nothing to, that's crazy. Like I don't want nothing to happen to nobody. So,
Yeah.
people get people rooting it on, but also you also have to remember like I ain't trying to trigger if this dude is crazy. I ain't trying to do nothing to trigger him either.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know
I'm gonna
what
say
I'm saying? Like sit there and be talking all this crazy stuff and then and you know what I mean? Like nah. I'm just saying you got to think on both loads of things, and obviously she feels secure enough to do that, and that's on her. Would I do it? No, absolutely not. And I'm not in agreement with anything, but if she seemed like she's happy, she's having a good time, that's on her. Like what am I gonna do with that?
that's how I feel
Oh,
too.
I'm
But say
supposed to
this before
hate her?
I'm gonna say this before I drop down, and that's just to me. I don't care for him like that, but he it seems like he's doing him like he normally does. And if she likes it, I love it. That's not my place to. He's not a type of guy that I would go for, but if that's her type and that's what she likes, then that's
Yeah.
what she. Period. Point blank. And I'm not gonna make a whole bunch of videos about what they're doing. That's their business. I mean, I would look in at it from time to time, but I wouldn't let them have all that space in my mind. You know what I'm
Me
saying?
either. I'm out of
So
it from here on
that,
out to
that's just
tonight.
me. Though. You
Yeah,
there?
I'm done with that. I'm not looking at any of that anymore. Like I'm not even really interested anyway. I just want to, you tune in to see if she's doing okay, and that's good. So before you
Mhm.
drop down, what are some of your triggers that triggers you? Of that was the main conversation of triggers.
Well, on here, there's been a couple things like the talk about the married man, and a married man cheating, and or not even so much. Well, the emotional cheating of a married man. The
Yes.
passing the number, stuff like that. Relationship issues are triggering to me, depending on. I don't like older women not acting their age per se. Not saying that, because I do understand now that there's not a certain age that you learn things. Some people learn things later in life, but just certain things, um, so can be triggering for me. But other than that,
Yeah, I get that. That
nothing on here. But in real life, like Lucinda said, um, if anything disrupts my spirit, I let go of it. Whether that's
yes.
through my mom, my
Yeah.
dad, and I don't care, a child, my children, whoever. If you are disrupting my spirit when I'm dealing with you, I will let you go, because my
Yes.
myself, my mental health is way more important to me. You know what I'm saying?
Same
Sometimes
here.
you can still love a person from a distance. They don't have to have that front row seat in your life. You see what I'm saying? Or that day-to-day contact with you. So that's just
That
how I.
discernment is serious. Like you really need to pay attention to and it may not trigger a lot of people who don't even know that it's triggering. Don't you know that? It could that means that you need to learn yourself more than anything overall. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because sometimes you may not even know you're triggered.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because you got to know yourself, how your body operates, how your mind works. Certain things, some people don't even know what triggers them because they don't know themselves. So
Yeah.
they when you start moving differently, thinking differently, acting differently, and so forth, it becomes a trigger for you, of certain um emotions, certain movements and actions that you make. You know what I'm saying? So some people don't even realize that certain things change their mindset of how
Mm-hmm.
they think of things and how they see things. And that's because, you've been somewhere or dealt with someone who have made be triggered you in a certain way that made you shut off certain functions. You feel me?
Yep. Even
And sometimes if you don't,
some kid content too. You know,
yes.
discussions and stuff like that can be triggering to me too. It just all depends.
So yeah,
But
I agree with you, Taylor. I just wanted to come on here. It's like, listen, if something is really triggered to you, you really a normal person. If you are triggered about something, you just log out. There's no way I'm gonna be making content and really discussing something that triggers me. That really frightens me to trigger me to where does it, and that's what I really wanted to say too. Did it trigger you in a mental health way, or did it trigger you in a violent way to where you wanted to push on the hurt or something like that? You get what I
oh no,
mean?
I'm never in a
So
hurtful way.
no, not you, but I'm
Oh,
just saying for certain people when we speak of triggered,
when I'm
it
triggered,
is a question of how much people are saying, oh, this is triggering. This is this and this is that. And then you sit there and be like, okay, because I'm thinking triggered me like, oh, this kind of caused me into a emotional way. This have triggered me in an emotional way. So people use triggered freely, and they don't know the real definition of it. It doesn't mean that you're triggered in a bad way.
Well,
Some
it
people
could
get
mean
triggered
violence
in a
depending
wicked
on
way.
it could mean that depending on the situation and the person's involved. Now, being on YouTube, being triggered, no, I'm not trying to hurt nobody on YouTube, but it will give me a tightness in my eyes and my head where I might get a slight headache from just listening to it. It might sound like the words might sound like fingernails scraping across a chalkboard. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, ugh, like turn it
Exactly.
off. You know what I'm saying? It's annoying. It triggers that, that annoyance, that kind of thing where I just want to quit talking about it or I just want to shut it down like immediately.
That's
Like
my
if I say one more word, it's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
that's
like that.
my that's my triggerance of that. This is not, it don't sit well in my soul. That's my trigger.
Yeah.
For it's not a trigger for me to attack and keep putting putting more gravy on it.
Yeah.
It's a trigger of like
Hey, dear
I'm done.
self.
So yeah, it's crazy. Hey, dear Sal, Susan. Yeah, I enjoyed this, and I think TaylorMade so much for coming up and joining me because we
But
both
wait,
be
if
getting
you
triggered.
if you my man and you trigger me, no, that's a whole no. I
Ooh,
might
now that's a different trigger.
it might be off with your head. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I said. How much people allow stuff to trigger them, and what do they do with being triggered? Like, are
It
you triggered
depends.
enough to just be on here? Just, everybody is triggered by something, but this ain't never going to be one. I'm never going to watch something that's going to really trigger me to go off or to do something crazy. My trigger is to turn you off, but you're right, if something
Yeah.
trigger me like with my children, my man, somebody
Yeah.
close to me, I may feel some feeling, deep thought feeling to really react to
Mm-hmm.
such gurgity of being like blah blah blah. But certain things I just don't care to watch. But I'm gonna watch my man. I'm gonna watch my children. I can't close those things out. You know what I mean? Those are things that trigger you that you can't kind of delete in your life, and unless you're done with your dude and it's a done deal, or
Yeah.
you get to a rocky place with family and stuff like that. But certain areas and things that it will always trigger you to do something, like your kids and stuff. But people in here, I can't get that trigger. And I'm not
Right.
going to put myself in that position to get triggered to that way. And especially if you done outspoken and they ain't listening, ain't trying to hear you, that's not my job to do that. Us
Yep.
as adults, we come on here, we know we're grown, and we come on here with our own mind and our own thoughts, and nobody don't think for a second everyone is not feeling a certain kind of way. But who am I to keep saying that every day? Like every day I'm gonna say they're not for you, don't do it. They ain't listening. Shoot, we've been saying
Right.
that and she's there, so what the hell that
Girl.
us? We've been
Mm-mm.
saying no, leave it alone, don't go. But she's there. So what the
I'm
hell
not
you
gonna
gonna say?
do it. Not gonna do
So
it. Absolutely
me
not. Come on,
either,
bro.
girl. But yeah, this
Oh,
was a good conversation, and
yeah, it
I
was.
enjoyed you coming up here. And
Thank
I
you.
wish Tracy the best. And
Me too.
hopefully, and she's gonna get home safely because I'm praying. I done been praying and praying on it. It's gonna work out. It's gonna be good. And she gonna go home, and whatever she experienced through her own self, hey, she'll know what she needs to do in her own time. If she doesn't,
Yeah.
that's on her, right?
Yep. Okay, I'm getting down because my baby needs me.
All
Okay.
right. All
Okay.
right. Well, have a good night. Thank you so much, Taylor. Thank you, everybody who's been in the bushes watching, everybody in the chat. I just came on to say whatever triggers you, how do you handle it? Me, simply click off, just log out, just move on. There's nothing that serious that you got to continuously watch and be triggered by anything of all means. So yeah, with that being said, guys, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Don't be triggered. Sign out, watch something enjoyable, love on your kids, love on your family, love on your loved ones. Say something good and gracious. Be triggered by just being hopeful and focus on what you need to do. So enjoy a wonderful week, which is going to be a blessing. Can you believe it's almost the end of February? I mean, January, headed into February. So I'm looking forward. And guys, remember, if you're willing to do the fasting with me for 28 days for February, stay tuned to the community tab. Please join us. I am going to come with some intermittent intermittent fast that we're about to do and enjoy. 7 different ones. You pick one and we enjoy, and let's choose a great book to motivate our mind while we're doing that for the month of February. So with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Anybody going live, I will be there with you guys. Just let me know and I'll be looking out, and I'll see y'all on these streets. Stay motivated and positive and motivated. Okay. Love you guys. Later. And shout out to my replay game. Later. It's something about the way you stare into my eyes. I know that I don't make things clear. I fall for you every time I try to resist. We can get away. I'm chase beach views and every day. All I wanna hear is an episode of replay. Sit right next to you. Ready? You was thinking today. I was like.